I get the question a lot, how do I stop arguing with my partner? Because every time I go to approach my partner about my feelings and my emotions, they invalidate me and it always turns into an argument and somehow it ends up being my fault. So how do I avoid this? I feel like first and foremost, you have to stop looking at the situation as an argument. Because when you think of an argument, your fight or flight kicks in. Because of that, you're preparing yourself mentally to either walk away from the situation or to get ready to engage to have a fight that doesn't need to happen. I don't feel like there's one universal answer to this question, but I feel like I can give examples of what I do in my relationship with my girlfriend and I. So whenever a situation comes up and one of us need to talk, we make sure both individuals are ready to engage in the conversation. Meaning, just because I might be ready to talk about something doesn't mean mentally my partner's ready to talk about something. She might be having a bad day, dealing with depression, anxiety. She might be dealing with something else at that moment. And now not only is she dealing with her own issues, but she has to deal with mine as well because I need her. And that doesn't mean that what she's going through is more important than what I'm going through or vice versa. It doesn't mean what I'm going through is more important than what she's going through. It's just right now might not be the best time for us to talk and that's okay. So I asked her, hey sweetie, I got some things on my mind. Do you got time to talk about it right now, or would later be a little bit better time? And her question in return will be, how important is it? And she's not asking me in a sense of like, oh, you really got to talk about this. It's more so like, hey, if we need to talk about it now, then I'll find a way to make time to talk about it now. But if it could wait till later, I prefer to wait till later when we're in person and we can actually discuss this. Also, to take it a step further, we always tell each other what the topic is or what do we want to talk about. Because it's one thing to hit your partner up and say, hey, babe, I want to talk. And they're at work. And then they tell you, oh, can we talk about it later? You're like, all right, cool. And now they're sitting at work thinking about what could it be? If they fucked up, if they said something wrong, what did they do to where it's now we have to have a conversation? So to nip all that overthinking in the butt, we just say, you know what? Here's the topic. Here's what I would like to discuss, and then here's when we could discuss it when we're both available to discuss it. I think one of the most important things is that when we engage in a conversation, we listen to understand. We don't listen to react. We listen to understand what the message is that the other person is trying to convey, so that way we can understand what the problem is, so that way we can come up with solutions. We're not listening to argue or to be combative because we're either both winning or we're both losing. There's no in between. So if we don't work past these issues, guess what's going to happen? We're still going to have the same issues. Now, hear me out. Both parties, myself and my girlfriend, are allowed to be upset. We're allowed to cry. We're allowed to be angry. We're allowed to be happy. We're allowed to have emotions during these conversations. But those emotions cannot prevent us from coming up with a solution to the problem, or we will continue to have the same problems because we didn't come up with a solution.